some auto stocks that are not receiving a lot of attention. We're getting a lot of attention, obviously, towards Tesla and Workhorse and other stocks. However, there is some value to be found in some of the legacy automakers. So, for instance, China, I just came across a story. GM in China is reporting quarterly sales rise for the first time in 2 years. This is great news considering that China is trying to get its way out of the pandemic. And according to the story here on the Motley Fool, General Motors announced Tuesday that its Chinese sales rose 12% for the quarter ended in September versus a year ago. So the gain follows a 5% drop in the second quarter and marks the first year-over-year gain for sales in China in 2 years. GM delivered 771,400 vehicles in China, including joint venture partnerships. This is just some strong momentum. This is good news for the Chinese economy, great news for General Motors. Basically, their strongest sales is coming from the Cadillac brand and the Buick brand. For those that don't know, Buick is really big in China. Buick is kind of like the BMW for China. It's considered a lot more upscale in China than it is in the United States. And so that's why General Motors always has some pretty good momentum in the Chinese market. Now, if you look at the stock actually looks pretty good. You see it has this dip that it's recovered from. It pays an excellent dividend here, 4.7%. You look at the chart here, the 6-month chart actually looks really good. If you go to the 1-year chart, you still see it still has a little work to do to get back up to like an all-time high, but at least for an intermediate high, it looks like it's pretty much broken through to an intermediate high. And I think it's only going to get better. And I think this is a great value play if you're worried about any pullbacks with all the EV stocks get running too hot. General Motors is a great play here. And this is just a great stock just to hold it as stock. I don't know if you would want to do options plays because there's probably not a lot of implied volatility, so you're not going to get a thick premium by selling any calls or puts. However, you can collect a nice dividend, and this company's on solid footing. So if you're looking for like a conservative play, General Motors is definitely the way to go, especially if for some reason the market turns downward. I've been thinking that the market is probably going to do really well from now until the end of the year. Especially, it looks like the election might not be as complex. Biden's ahead by 10 points. That the election might be decided sooner rather than later. So that might be some positive momentum. But the negative momentum, I think, is in January. That second wave of the pandemic could hit really hard or unexpectedly hard. So that might cause a rotation into safer stocks, which could include General Motors. So just something to take a look at if you're looking for something to buy, or at least to diversify your portfolio. I mean, you don't want to have like all your money in EV stocks. It's good just to have some diversity. And also, just to let you know, General Motors does have some pretty strong EV vehicles. They have the Chevy Bolt and the Chevy Volt. The Bolt and the Volt, they're both big sellers. They're actually, I think the Volt is actually the best-selling EV for non-luxury cars. So like at a price point below the Tesla, the Volt is doing really well. And I think it's outselling, well, the Prius is a hybrid. So I think the Bolt is the best-selling EV non-luxury vehicle. So that's just another thing to consider. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to put a like on it. If you want to subscribe, I come out with multiple videos today with breaking news on stocks and other helpful information. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.